There are too many games.
There's too many games. And it's
Yeah.
all it's and again, I'm just gonna end up playing Yakuza. I think that's like the fate of it.
Yep. Yeah, I've gotten my partner really into Yakuza, so I've been just collecting reaction gifs that I can put in text back and forth
Oh,
because there's just a million of these.
yeah. The dancing minigame in Yakuza Zero is really good.
The dancing here.
Kiryu's
This is
moves are
really,
incredible. Yeah,
yeah.
it's good.
Just hold on to that one forever.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Have you been playing Loop Hero at all?
I have.
I want to hear more about
I'm
it.
I'm quite a fan. It's like a it's been a good thing. I've played it while I was like editing stream notes because it was just like you can kind of let it go and you don't have to look at it once in a while. It's great.
Got it.
It's like yeah, it's like sort of the exact right combo of idle game and like RPG.
Have you heard of auto chess?
Yeah, I really like the Hearthstone mode I like to play is an auto chess or an auto battle or whatever it is.
Right.
It's such a weird name because like it has nothing to do with chess.
Yeah, I thought was it Dota that they originally did it in?
I think so, yeah. Which is ironic because Dota is like a mod for another game.
I think Dota is Warcraft 3, right? Or something like
But
that.
Dota was Warcraft 3, yeah. Dota auto chess. Yep,
Yeah.
that's weird. Yeah, like what about this is chess like? Like
Uh,
nothing.
the bottom.
Yeah,
But
the
but it is
map.
automatic, right? You basically pick your units and their loadouts, right? And then you just let the game simulate.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, you pick your units, you pick your like locations. I guess there's some games have power ups, and then yeah,
Right.
you just throw your army against the other army.
Is Loop Hero similar to in that regard? You like set stuff up and let it go.
Mm, hmm A little bit, yeah. Yeah, what I like is that it's sort of you kind of build the map. It's like a map editor. The game is the map editor,
Yeah.
but like literally, which I do think you would get a kick out of. Because I know that's halfway to your dream,
Right.
but like yeah, the you occasionally have to like pause and like collect your spoils from battle and either place them on the map or place them on your character, and then you just go because you can't do anything in combat and you can't stop yourself from moving.
And is combat just attacks back and forth? Is there healing or item use or anything like that?
Yeah, it's like there's attacks back and forth. You can unlock potions, which it uses automatically.
Yeah.
But then like the equipment that you've put on your character, some does vampirism where it like steals health from the enemy, some does
Right.
like evades or counters. So you get to and there's a couple character classes that'll have like pretty different behavior.
Right. But there's like no choices you make during combat, right? It's just like how you've set it up.
None, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, the one choice you can make is I think you can swap your equipment while in combat. So you could do some like maybe Galaxy Brain, like changing stuff on the fly
Yeah.
plays, but I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fun. It's like a really nice sort of like it's I hate to call it a loop because it's a loop, but it's very pleasing. Yeah. Did you try it? Did it not grab you?
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. You bought it.
I bought it. Yeah. Because it was on sale. That's how they get you. I believe. Um.
I'm also just like when like a hot new indie game drops, I'm kind of happy to like send money that way. I'll never buy a AAA game for $70 usually. But
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
always happy to give like $12 to an indie dev.
Yeah. Uh. There's too many games. I just got Final
There,
Fantasy VII Remake for free on PS
that you
Plus.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
There are too many games.
There's too many games. And it's
Yeah.
all it's and again, I'm just gonna end up playing Yakuza. I think that's like the fate of it.
Yep. Yeah, I've gotten my partner really into Yakuza, so I've been just collecting reaction gifs that I can put in text back and forth
Oh
because there's just a million of these.
yeah, the dancing minigame in Yakuza Zero is really good.
The dancing here.
Kiryu's
This is
moves are
really
incredible. Yeah,
yeah.
it's good.
Just hold on to that one forever.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
yeah, yeah. And your partner probably speaks a fair amount of Japanese at this point, right? So
Mm, Enough to understand more of the jokes than I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was like talking to a character, and they were like, "Coon." They said "coon." How insulting! I was like,
Right.
"Okay,
Right.
sure." Yeah. Uh, that game just keeps on giving. I'm almost done with zero. It's very fun.
Yeah, and you already finished one, right?
I played one like a year or two ago,
Okay.
and it was great. Zero is bigger though. Zero has a lot more going on. One feels like a PS2 game.
Yeah, zero might be too big. I think it might be a little bit too big.
I'm not sure they get smaller.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 4 and 5 have 4 and 5 protagonists respectively. So it sounds like a problem.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to playing two, and then we'll see if I have the stomach for 3 through 6.
Yeah, or just go straight to 7.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
I'm
lot of
gonna play
games.
two. I'm gonna play two just for that urinal mini game. They got me with that.
It's pretty good.
I was trying to explain that to someone, and I realized that they had never used a urinal before and didn't understand that there actually are occasionally those things in men's bathrooms.
Oh, urinals. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Well, sometimes it's in the bathroom."
I feel like there's no greater sign. Well, there are much greater signs, but like there's no more delicious symbol of male privilege than being able to stand up while you pee. It's like, I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna like rip it open and let it fly right now. That's what being a man is about.
That is, you've. I think you've distilled the essence of manhood.
Yeah, exactly. It's being able to
You're
stand and pee at the same
totally,
time.
you're on the money.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Um, boy, what should we do today?
I had a thought in general,
Okay.
and this is not a new thought. I think it's just going back to what we were saying before. But I think in general we can do more with graphics, but I think what we really want to do is like figure out what the game actually is, right? Mechanics wise, and that involves just like making the game feel good, right? Feel good and play good, and have interesting things we can do.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like I think that means kind of a couple things. We like the networking stuff. I think there are still mysteries to be unraveled, but I think that's something we can maybe continue to chug away on off stream unless there's something really interesting we can do. And I think the name of the game there is just making sure that everything performs well enough that it's still playable in multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And we're gonna have to keep up because it's like an arms race, right? The more that we add to the game, the more detrimental it is to the network performance.
Yep.
But on the
Yep.
game feel side, I think there's a lot of things that we can do, even without sophisticated graphics capabilities. Last time we talked a little bit about adding other forms of like physical impulses, like kick or
Yeah, we're
recoil
talking
on
about
the
kick.
gun,
Yep.
or what do you call it in games when you get hit by a weapon and you get pushed back?
Back. Knockback.
Knockback, of course. Yes, knockback.
This,
Yeah. So I think knockback might be a good thing to work on as well.
everything is Minecraft.
Yeah. Everything is Minecraft.
Yep.
I've been playing Valheim lately, and it's just Minecraft.
It's Minecraft.
Yeah, it's just Minecraft.
Yeah, every game is either Minecraft, Skyrim, or Yakuza, I think.
Hey, I got a question for you. You see how in Visual Studio Code that little like brown letter D is in
Yeah,
your
what's up?
Explorer? What is that?
I don't know. It just happens sometimes.
I think it's like you
Oh,
can filter
I think
files.
yeah, I can type like tank and but like it's not sure. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's not the most discoverable piece of UI. that they
Especially when
added in
there's
this.
like when there is a find file button, like
yeah.
why? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, sorry about that. I feel like I only get that into that state accidentally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like the idea. So basically, we're talking kick is when you fire, your character gets kicked back a little bit, and knockback is when I hit one of these dogs, the dog gets popped back a little bit.
Yeah. And I suspect that their implementation will be relatively similar, even if the triggering stimulus is different,
Yeah.
right?
So I want to think through that. Yeah, because we what we have like two things we're gonna send, which is well, right, yeah, they're both impulses on a player, but the knockback is actually like sending a hit across the wire, which is not something we've done. Like normally, hit resolution is well, do we send a hit across the wire, or do we just let the deterministic simulation see that a hit happened and we do it? Is that all we need?
I think the second is all we need.
Okay, yeah. So we don't need to coordinate this in messages. We can actually do it in game via just the signals of the other messages coming in. That's nice.
Yeah, or at least I think maybe we can shoot for that as a start.
I think that makes sense. Okay. Shooter. So if I have a radical idea. We have our tank mover system. Do we have a tank mover entity? I thought we added one.
A component?
Oh, component. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's right
right
there.
here. Right.
Yeah.
It's in line in the system.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like we can't. So knockback can't be like a single frame. It needs to be sort of I don't know, maybe an ease in out.
Yeah.
But at least like it might take 2 or 3 frames, or faster than or slower than instantaneous, right?
Yeah.
Um, would it make sense to give the tank mover just sort of a external? Can we give it an external impulse, which is a vector, and I say vector magnitude, but it could just be a vector that we slowly like
Decrease
shorten
over
to
time.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you get hit from another direction, we can actually add it to the external impulse vector
Yes.
because it'll compound. That seems pretty reasonable.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I think what we're talking about is just adding a velocity, but it's a velocity that is specific to some kind of external influence. External impulse is close. I tend to think of impulses as instantaneous.
Mm-hmm. External force.
If we wanted to, if it's just like how we are modifying the displacement, it's just external velocity, because force is acceleration and mass.
I think that sounds right then.
Right. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I like that we're putting it here. When I first thought about doing kind of influences on motion like this, one way we could have done it is like to create an entirely new system that was like the knockback system or the kick system, or two separate systems, and deal with all of the adjustments of the player's positions in different locations. But it gets confusing because ideally you want all influences on the motion of the player to be kind of resolved in the same place.
Well, that's why I was thinking of this, because you could have kick and knockback going in opposite directions at the same time.
Yeah.
And actually stay totally still if they're equivalent values.
Yeah, or have a heuristic where one wins over the other all the time. But in either case, it's kind of helpful to be able to deal with all of those things in a similar space, as opposed to like it being distributed across a bunch of different systems that you kind of order in one way. And it's tricky because we also have this notion of where the tank was, right? We have a previous position for the tank, and I think it's defined as like the previous position of the previous frame's position, right? But
that's what transform that's doing, correct?
You could imagine an alternative implementation where every system that like modifies the position of the tank each has a turn at changing that, and then like it's kind of like this weird no man's land in between those different systems of like, well, what state is the tank actually in at that time? Should we update the quad tree or the spatial index of the tank's position at the time, especially if we add a grid index? So it almost maybe makes more sense that like anything that modifies, and this isn't necessarily like globally true for every component, but I think maybe a good rule of thumb is that if you're if a system modifies a particular like component or particular property in a component, maybe all of the systems that modify that component should be in the same place. It's a little bit like doing React, right? Like a React template. Like you only ever have one place that actually ends up modifying the output, right? Only one place that ever ends up modifying what the page actually looks like or what the component actually looks like. Even though there's many different pieces of state that might actually go into that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can imagine too. No, sorry, lost my train of thought. I was gonna say I can imagine, if we're doing it all in one place and this gets really complex, like in fact we can just sort of factor the system out into some helper functions as well. I think we've tried to keep these mostly like one file, but I don't think we have any requirement on that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a complex system that does a lot of behavior in one place than deal with ordering issues. That does sound terrible.
Right. Yeah. Now I could also see it going the opposite direction from what I just said too, because it might be the case that we'll run into this like ordering issue that's impossible to resolve. Like we feel like one system should depend on the outcome of another system, but that second system also depends on the outcome of the first system. And at that point, we actually just might have to defer something till the next frame, or we'll have to basically make a judgment call on what should go first.
Well, and the way this works now, like I think in our, I have a new VS Code. I need to reset some of my key bindings.
Did they finally get a proper M1 build?
It's the normal release is M1, so I swapped over.
Oh yeah.
And it turns out that like all my key bindings were for the old one. Like I think there are different bundle names, so they didn't come with it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But what I was gonna say is that the tank mover, since it comes first, actually like hits won't happen until the next frame.
Yeah, right.
Hits, shooting, knockback, hits, and kick. Yeah.
Does the tank mover have to happen first?
It totally does. Well, I mean, that's a good question. It has like a very tiny effect on how hit calculation works, because the tank will either have moved for that frame or not. Yeah. But I don't think it matters.
Yeah, and we'll also have to figure out what happens if you're dashing, should you be allowed to shoot? I don't think you should be able to shoot while you're dashing, right?
Probably not. Can you dash into your own bullets that way? I haven't tried to. Oh, it's really hard to aim in the same direction I'm dashing with the short screen. Oh yeah, I think actually I can hit my own bullets.
Yeah, see if you can kill yourself.
I'm trying. This dog is on a bad time. Oh, we might have put the shooter ID in there, so the shooter.
Oh yeah, so your own bullets can't hurt you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. So you can really just sort of like double up on fire in here.
Yeah, I think eventually your own bullets should be able to kill you. Like if we had a ricochet shot, that'd be something we'd want to. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna say especially bullets should maybe just like not kill you for the first 3 or 4 frames of their lifespan.
Yeah.
So they can get away.
Yep. But all this game stick stuff, we should just get rid of it. I don't know.
Oh gosh. The stuff you mean where we had level switching and all that shit?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Done.
Right.
Well, we should really bring pickups back here at some point, and like I guess the UI as well. We sort of forgot about the UI.
Yeah. We can bring some of the UI back. And even this if block, does that even need to be there? I don't think it does.
There are times when it's not running, right? We do have. I mean, I feel like "you died" was a relevant.
Yeah, but I think at the game level, at the game sim level, we also have an if block here.
Oh, is that okay? Gotcha.
If you look at client sim.
Yeah.
And then this actually is already in a running state. So like that if block is already redundant, I think.
Fair enough. Boy, this is a slightly different game than it was back then.
Yeah.
Great. Solve that problem. Cool. Yep, game definitely still works, and I'm just gonna go. I'll go over here and die, I guess. I guess yeah. I think we now crash on death, but that's just we just really haven't resolved that, have we?
Yeah. The server crashes on death, right?
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, cool. Oh, come on now. Great. Okay, so I like the idea of tank mover basically just applying this external velocity. Yeah. Should this always just be actually a vec2 that we're just adding into?
Yeah,
Probably
that
so.
makes sense.
Yeah, we'll just keep this around. And clone is.
I love TypeScript. It just tells you what code to write.
It's great, man. I converted part of my app at work from JavaScript to TypeScript today, and basically just spent the whole day fixing squiggly lines, and it was great.
Yeah.
I honestly loved every second of it. I knew my code was correct by the end of it.
I really like that. You can kind of just zen out.
Oh, it's really nice, yeah. Though I did have to put some any's on the Redux state, and that made me sad.
Do you have ESLint? I don't think you do. Do you want to grab ESLint?
Oh shit. Yeah. Of course I don't. This is a totally fresh VS Code.
I like
Really
that you
feel
Rust
like
Analyzer though. Your priorities are straight.
You know what it is? I think I must set this. I must have installed VS Code on this computer when I was doing Advent of Code, and then realized. Then they put an M1 build out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, great.
Nice.
But it looks like I didn't move. Yeah. That sure looks right. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Hang on.
Lower right corner.
ESLint.
Yes.
Yep. Angry ESLint. Thank you. So is this formatting now? Nope. Because I have to tell it to format on save.
I think it's actually
Yeah.
you can do a. I think it's more that you want auto fix on save. So I think it's like what do I? I'm not on my other computer. Let me look it up real quick. This is a fun thing. Us fixing your editor on stream. It's riveting entertainment.
Let's say I consider this fixed. Oh god, except. Oh right. You're totally correct, because this is actually only doing half of the work.
Yes, if you open your JSON prefs.
Yeah. God, how do I get there? Edit setting JSON. There we go. Yeah.
And then we'll just add a line that's like, oh yeah, eslint.codeaction. Oh, sorry. What we actually want is a new block called editor.codeactionsOnSave. And it's camel case, yeah. And then that's gonna be the right hand side is an object, and the key is source.fixAll camel case .eslint. If unless you want to fix all languages, it's up to you. True.
Interesting. Okay.
Eslint, and then that's true, and I think that'll run prettier for you. So if you make a change right now.
Yeah, it's it wasn't adding my commas back in a second ago. Why is there not a checkbox in the settings that does this?
There might be. I had a hard time finding it, so I just did that. So it could very well be. Oh, there is actually a setting. It's called ESLint Code Actions on Save mode.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Right. Thank you. This is a gift to your future self as well, because then you won't get my file that hasn't been linted.
Well, I like giving gifts to myself.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's do Kick first.
Okay.
just because that'll be maybe a little easier. I guess so. Okay, when we get a shooter message, just attack, da, 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 and then okay, yeah. When we update the shooter right here, I guess
Yeah.
this is where we need to set the tank, or we need to add some kick to the tank.
Yep.
Where's entity? Nope, nope. It's tank movers. I'm really glad that we eventually made this entity manager system that like can do partial updates. It works so well.
It turned out pretty nicely, I think. I think it's got
Yeah,
legs.
it's got legs, and it's like I don't think causing us performance problems at all. I think this part works really well.
Yeah. Plus, we're web
So
programmers, so it's a little bit like the way web programmers would do it, right?
it's very much the way web programmers would do it. Yeah, when I was talking with someone on a project today, I was just like, they were like describing this thing, and I was like, wow, this really sounds like you want a WebGL canvas in there.
Yeah.
Maybe you should hire a game developer.
Right. Right. Totally. Should we get the previous velocity as well?
I think we
How do
have
you?
to. I
Yeah.
was just thinking that because like we need to add and then maybe do like a. I feel like we want like maybe a max. What do I think? What's the word I'm thinking? Magnitude. We don't want you to be able to like kick someone into infinity.
Yeah. Okay.
Or knock back it. Yeah, I feel like it could go badly if they always add instead of like adding to a maximum.
Yeah. Do we enforce that here, or do we enforce that in the tank mover?
So I was wondering. I was thinking that it might be worth enforcing at the site of adding to it because like kick and knockback may have different maximums they want to apply.
Yeah. That makes sense. How
Yeah,
we
and
want to factor this, I think we'll probably end up iterating on this multiple times because I have all these like weird ideas that may or may not matter. But one other way
yeah.
that we could handle this is that we create an event system or just like a status flag system or something like that, where the shooter just marks a flag somewhere that says, "Oh, we fired last frame or this frame,"
Mhm, mhm.
and then the tank mover knows what to do with that, right? The tank mover says, "Oh, we fired. I'm going to set the external velocity to this." So, like,
Hmm.
you can imagine that's one way to factor it. I think the way that you're doing it right
Mhm.
now is totally fine as well. There are
I can see that. Yeah.
the if we
Yeah.
did
That
that kind of
that.
like event style, it would be like we would stick all of the velocity mutations all in like a big switch block or something like that, right? It would be all in like kind of one location that was checking
Well,
different
yeah.
status flags.
It would be like this would actually have a like
A list of things that happened, right?
yeah, it'd be like type like tank mover events uh and it'd be frame number and event type or something.
Yeah, or an enum or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That I mean
I guess if
that,
to bring it back to web stuff, you could imagine having an action, which is that you fired, and a reducer that decides what to do with all of those
I was
actions.
gonna say this is just Redux, but
Well, it is observer patterny, right? It's a little
yeah.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense to me too, especially if we want to do any sort of strange resolution or give priority to any one event.
Maybe it helps to
This is
do it all in
pretty.
one place as opposed to doing it locally in the place that it happens.
Yeah, I think this also needs a direction back too, because otherwise we won't be able to
Yes.
actually choose how to apply stuff. Okay,
Or it could be that
and
the event has its own payload, and we could do one of those union type things where the event is any of a set of
um,
things, and they
yeah,
have their own payloads, right? Something like that.
hmm yeah, that does make sense. I'm gonna I like this. I think this will be a cleaner resolution. I'm gonna start with this.
Okay.
But I can absolutely see how we would get to payloads. Can we put arrays on here? We just write a clone function. So
Yeah.
other systems are going to add events to this array. Cool. Um,
One thing that might be easier than the array up front is if how many of these things do we think we were going to have eventually? Like, do you think there's going to be a ton of different events, or
I mean, there could certainly be multiple on one frame from like.
I mean, well, here's a question: is dashing an event? Is just like pushing left, up, down, left, or right an event?
Oh,
It kind of is, right?
you're asking a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
So where I was going with this is either we could
Yeah.
have an array of events, or we could have one event object of every possible type just in that object with question marks. Like any of these things could have happened. And depending on how many of those
Oh,
there are, we could just deal with them that way. The array is useful if you want to iterate over them. The flat
I see
list
what you're saying.
is,
So
yeah.
you're saying there's like a kick event is a tank mover
Or
event
just like
optional.
just literally just a tank kick event, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. But then a bunch of optional events like a knockback event.
Um, that's one way we could do it, or we have an array. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
having the key value there is useful if like there's special logic between two or more of those things.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just a little
I
clumsy
guess
looking, but I could imagine it being a little bit easier to do specific things.
when I can knockback, I feel like there could just be a bunch of events too.
Oh, so you
Um,
imagine that there might be multiple knockback events, right?
well, like if I get knocked back, if I'm like over here with the turret farm and get knocked back from one bolt into another, I would expect that I could be like moving in this direction, undo the influence of knockback, hit here, and then sort of my knockback direction actually is like the combo of the two going up this way.
Yeah.
Um, and it seems hard to do that with the single event.
Yeah.
I do think collapsing it all into a single event too is sort of an equally challenging problem.
Right.
So, hmm,
Um,
man, okay.
yeah. So okay, so
I
here's another deeper wrinkle.
Yeah,
How do you
bring it
want to
on.
so right now the events that we're describing are from the perspective of the tank mover system,
Mhm.
but you can also basically frame the events from the perspective of the originating system. So rather than a kick event, there's a fire like a gun fired event with some properties on it.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than a knockback event, there's a hit event. Maybe those two things are very
Oh,
close with each other. So basically, the system that generates these events say, "Hey, by the way, I'm making this happen in the game," and then it's up to other systems to interpret what that actually means, right?
right. And that makes sense. I feel like we've somehow managed to avoid that, but I could absolutely see that there could be a lot of systems that would love to pick up any random series of events or behaviors going on in the game and react to them. So,
Yes.
huh.
Well, I don't want to overfactor it. Like, it's funny. Like you and
Yeah,
I were talking about observable JS or RxJS,
we
and
were making fun of
how
it.
and we were making fun of it. But like, I
Yeah.
think actually it starts to make a little bit of sense when you have systems like when you have basically a structure like this where there's like a bunch of different things happening, and you want to
Mhm.
know, hey, did these three things happen last frame? Because if so, I want this side effect to occur, right?
Yep.
And that's more or less what they're trying to do with a declare, like a DSL, right? Uh,
Now, I do want to point out we already have a messaging system that's keyed onto frames. It doesn't have any decay, I guess, but that could be up to the system to track that once it receives the message.
yeah, that's interesting. We do have these
Like,
messages are interesting because they're a slightly different semantic. They get sent over the wire as well, and that's not the same property as everything else. So I could
they
see. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't. Do they have to be? I mean, I guess we could manage a buffer of local messages and just insert them into the simulation
Yeah.
per frame.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
you can
say
let
that
it run on that.
there could be you could factor any number of ways, right? Like one of the ways that you could do it is that you just have one giant array of everything kind of funneling through, and some of them
Mhm.
are special and some special things happen to them. Uh, you could also have just like two different buses basically. One is like the special network one, which has the high priority like originating events,
Mhm.
and the other is like the kind of side effects that percolate out from that, right? Um, and I almost kind of like the idea of the side effects being a separate array because you could imagine also having like particle effects and that keyed off of those things as well,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Yeah, and one thing is that we will. I think they have to be. There's like a slight difference where don't we don't include our prediction messages. Like we don't include our local input messages that are prediction when we're processing the server frame, but we do want to process these. Like we do want frame 8 knockback on frame 8. We don't want to like cut it out and like go to frame 9. So the other buffer I think doesn't have the right semantics for this usage.
Yeah. Okay. Um, why don't we chug on ahead with the way that you're doing it now, like literally what's
Yeah.
typed in there, because we don't necessarily have that much, and I think I think, but there's real legs to this idea that we need an event stream. I think that's
I,
basically what we're kind
I
of
think
coming onto.
I think that's right. I'm gonna go all the way simplest to
Love it.
just just smash into a velocity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
I
then
think I think that'll actually treat us fine.
yeah, it'll be fine for now, and then we can factor it out once we have like lots of things jockeying for this data, right?
Yeah, and I think we'll see it pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Values. So let's see. We're gonna need the tank mover, and what else do we need? How do we get the firing direction? Oh, wait, we have that. It's fucking transform that orientation. Oh no, it's shooter dot orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see, spec2 dot. What do we have for that? Do we want an angle?
We'll probably just do a negation, right? We'll probably just negate the orientation, or we'll scale
Mm-hmm.
it by some amount, right? We'll do a
Yep.
vec2 dot scale of the shooter orientation, and the scale will be negative, right?
I like that. Yep, totally. Orientation. I'm just toss a -1 and see what we get. I'm curious. What don't you like? Oh, sorry. This needs to be doubled up. Sweet.
I think the first one needs to be a vec2 dot create because the tank move. Oh, this is good. This is the type checker saving us. Line that is
Beautiful.
an
Yeah,
immutable, right?
sure is. Okay. That's too bad. This
Oh,
one
I
should
see.
be everything.
Orientation is actually kind of a special thing, isn't it? It is the rotate. There's the rotation. Can you look up
Oh, yep,
orientation?
yep,
I
yep,
think
yep.
it's actually it's
I think
pretty
it's
well
just a number actually.
specified, right? And then when we do the shooter, how are we rotating the where are we doing the rotation?
Oh, it's this angle right here. Yeah, great.
And how does get angle work?
Just that two dot angle.
Okay. So I think what we want to do is like a vec2.rotate. Is that the idea?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll do a rotation of the north pointing vector.
Gosh, do we have it? Is that in
Vec2
here
from
too? 'Cause that'd be
values.
really nice. Yeah, it's
And then it's just like 0, -1.
0, 1?
0, -1, I think.
-1, yeah. And then this one gets scaled by -1. Boy, I always have, now that we looked at like our allocations and stuff, this just looks super gnarly to me.
It does, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's see, vec2.rotate.
One thing we could do is if we feel like this is gnarly, we could just have like you could just have like vector v that you start with, and you rather than composing these in the same expression, you just have a sequence of these. But it's not a big deal. Like I still don't think we should sweat the allocations right now.
No, totally. I guess I can just sort of see
rotate.
I see our future problem.
Funky API. What is it actually doing?
It needs to start. It needs yeah.
Okay, I think maybe line 91 and 92 we can flip.
91 and 92. The point to rotate, right? Because we're rotating the north vector around 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did the cool thing again. That's awesome. That's Alt up and down?
Alt up and down, yeah.
Oh, man.
Can't do that in your Vim shortcuts.
No, I can't.
There's a Vim shortcut
I was
for
like
this,
looking
right?
for that in Vim, and I was like, I couldn't do it. You know the thing that you can't do in Vim that really, really kills me? Is like, if you highlight, like, how would you search for a tank mover right now?
Command F tank mover.
And
then Command G to sort through those.
Or what if you wanted to like search for simstate.entitymanager.takemovers? How would you do that? Would you type it all out?
I would type it all out, yeah. I mean, I guess I could also switch into regex mode and do like.
Oh, got it. See, I would just highlight the text that I saw in the text editor, and then do Command F.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But you can't do that in in Vim. You can't like you can't select text and then go, I want to search for this. I Googled it and they're like, add this to your Vim RC, and I'm like, no, fuck you.
You're using pure Vim. That's dumb.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it in VS Code. But you know, I was SSH'd into a server, and I wanted to search for a string, and I had to type the whole thing out. I felt like a troglodyte. I was like, what is this?
Woof.
The Middle
Can
Ages?
Can you do regex search in
You
Vim?
can do regex. I just don't want to think. You know, I just want, like, if I see the text that I want to search for, I just want to select it and then go, right?
Yep. Thinking is dumb.
Yeah.
I do like that when you select something in VS Code and hit Command F, it autofills it. And if I select it and hit Shift Command F, it's in there too.
You know,
one command fewer, no copy and paste.
every text editor I've used has done that except for the Mac ones.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why I think it's cool that VS Code does it, because
both TextMate and Xcode, I think you have to do Command E, right, to get the buffer into your search. It's like slurp into.
That's dumb.
Command E is right next to Command W. It's very dangerous to do that.
I honestly still think it's rude that no Mac apps give you the option to like only Chrome lets you like. Only Chrome stops you from quitting it with Command Q, which is also really close to Command W. And I use Command W and don't want to hit Q. So
Yep, fair enough.
It's extra freaking rude.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna apply this motion. Well, let's see. Actually, we're gonna have to do some stuff because it's gonna get really weird really fast. What do you think we should do in terms of like decaying this motion? Is it like, should we just sort of take a fixed amount off per frame? We can have like it's
basically a constant deceleration.
Friction,
that's basically what you're proposing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Put it at 0.5. So that at least should take 2 frames to negate this knockback. So we'll see it. Well,
Yeah.
I'll see it. I'll make this a little slower. You won't see it. Okay, so let's see. Dash frame. This is so hilarious. I love that everything has to be Shiba post now. You did good.
Yeah.
I sent Dean a DM to make sure that we could use Dean Pupney in our show title.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, and he was very happy to have derailed us on that one.
I almost didn't call it that, but I felt like I would have been betraying somebody if I didn't.
You would have been betraying me. It's such a good name.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, cool. I never actually see our live broadcast in here. I'm glad that still works. I just really wanted to look at this beautiful frame again because like
it was well done.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, so orientation, position. Gosh, I can just add this vector to the position, can't I? That's all it is. Is that it?
Yeah. What is line 78 about? This is if we're moving. Is that right?
Oh, great point. I guess yeah. We only you can only get knocked back if you're moving.
Should you be able to move if you're still in the middle of getting knocked back?
I think you should still be able to move, yeah, because it should be.
We'll feel it. I think we'll
feel it.
We'll feel it.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be really weird actually if you move forward and if you're like moving backwards and moving forward at the same time, but like the next frame takes you back a little bit. That actually might feel really awkward. Yeah. Okay. But I guess that this is to say that perhaps.
Well, if we want to do both, I think maybe what we could do is if we want to do both, you can actually put your kick handling code like totally after the if block that starts on line 78. So like all of line 78 is just like.
I was just saying, unfortunately,
like
that includes the entire ability to move the tank. So I think we have to actually do a little refactoring here.
Does it?
Well,
we can just move the tank again, right?
That's true.
And the orientation update.
Yep. That's fine.
I think as long as the kickback. The kickback does affect orientation. Does it?
No, I don't think it should. Okay. I think that would feel weird, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be kicking you in a direction like
that you're not facing.
To what you're moving. Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So if great. And maybe we can do vec2 dot equals this and 0. Not.
Yep. And then it'd be vec2 dot create. I think that's
right. Yeah. 2.0.
Oh, that is a sweet thing.
Oh yeah, it's great. Is this a function though?
Oh no, I think it's create that we want. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to use that, but you're right.
I know. There's a better vector API out there that. It's too bad
we'll find it someday.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Yep. So if I get here's a question, and we sort of anticipated this when we made our systems this way. If I go into transform.position in here, it hasn't been updated. I need to actually refetch it from the entity manager, correct?
Yeah. So we can either refetch or we can store it here. We can store a temporary outside of this if block, so above line 78. We can just like get the position, copy it to a temporary position that we'll be updating throughout this function, and then set it at the very end. Maybe this is kind of what you were getting at before.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, so actually this is nice. This becomes position. We don't need to actually keep track of that at all. This is going to be one of those no unused expressions. Oh, no, good.
And then maybe line 997 could be like, we could just only ever modify the transform at the very, very end of this function after all of the things that influence position and orientation have been determined, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess we'll have to do the same we'll just have to move this orientation up. I guess I could come up with, I could see a reason not to run this every time, which is that if you're not moving and you're not being knocked back,
We
you don't have to
shouldn't
do
roll
any
back.
work.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, it's cheap. I think our rollbacks are pretty cheap, right?
It is.
Well,
It's relatively cheap. Yeah.
it's relatively cheap, and
it's not happening
I
in a
feel like,
tight loop, right? It's happening like once per player.
yeah, I'm trying. It's really interesting because I have different in my head when thinking about player actions that act on players specifically versus on entities. I feel like the player ones are cheap because it's like max 8 versus 1,000.
Yeah, that's right.
So it cheats my sensibilities in my brain. That seems good. Okay, so if there's, I mean, really, then we don't even need to do this because we can just position or vec2 dot add position and external velocity.
Yeah. And then we update the velocity, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, and then if vec2. That's a good way to do this. I guess it was actually the line I just had before. Maybe not equals, but maybe like less than or equal to. Is that? We have a comparison for vec2s.
You could do the square length. So can you let me know what you're going for?
Oh yeah, I guess. Let me think about what I was going for actually.
You're basically saying if the external velocity is non-zero, we should modify it, right, and bring it closer to zero, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I actually think you had it right. I think that if not vec2 dot equals and the external velocity in 0, you're just basically saying it's non-zero. Right.
Yeah, I guess that was it. Okay.
And then we'll do something with it, right?
Yeah, we'll do vec2 dot subtract tank mover dot velocity and external velocity deceleration, and this is the new external velocity.
Right. We might need to be thinking in two-dimensional space for that particular expression, because the external velocity is not a scalar, right? It's an x and a y, which means that on line 116.
Yep, totally.
So probably what that means is that we need to scale the external velocity to a unit vector and then scale that by the deceleration factor and then subtract it. Does that make sense?
So yeah, that makes total sense.
We take the external velocity, which is like one direction. Let's say it's pointing north, which basically means that we want to go against north, which is south in that case, by 0.25, right?
Yeah. Is it normalized here? We do normalize and then a scale.
Yeah, I think you're right. Vec2 dot scale of the normalize. Yeah.
Okay. These fucking vec2s.
And then the normalize, you have to do another vec2.create there.
Oh, do I really?
Yeah.
Yep. Unbelievable.
And then the scale is going to be the negative, or is external velocity, is that positive or
I
negative
think,
right now?
God, I guess I have to, it's positive right now and we're doing a subtraction here. So we're taking the normal, scaling it.
Okay,
Do
yeah,
we
that
have
makes
to,
sense. Okay, I'm following you.
yeah, do we have to unscale it though?
Mm, the only thing we have to do there is we have to make sure that it doesn't make it cross over 0, right? We have to min max it, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. This feels like a thing that should be part of this already. I don't know why. Scale and add. Perhaps it's not though. Okay. Right. Okay. So we've got. Gosh, this is annoying too. So this isn't immutable now, so we can't use it.
We can. Sorry, I didn't follow what was
Oh,
going on there. We can't use it just because
this.
we need to add a type definition for normalize that accepts that. It's just because normalize is not written
Oh,
for that.
is there a typing you have somewhere for
There
this?
is under types. Yeah, there you go. You can just add a
Nice. Okay.
normalize there,
Yeah.
and then yeah, that's pretty much
I
it.
forgot this is how you fixed it. That's super clever. Cool.
I like how you alphabetize it. Thanks for not being a terrorist, Dom.
Oh, absolutely. So things are going great over here, by the
I
way.
kind of saw something there. Did you fly off the
Uh,
screen?
I did something happened. Yeah, I flew into a bunch of turrets and
Let's
then I
raise your hit
died.
points to like 1,000,000.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it's time for that.
Time to cheat.
Where are my hit points?
Yeah, line 25. You can barely see it in there. Make 10.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, just put that on its own line. It's probably easier to read that way.
It doesn't want
Not
to.
gonna play ball. All
It's
right.
really annoying. Yeah.
Whoa, where'd the tank go?
Huh? I mean, who knows? Okay, so
That kind of worked.
so actually, it's kind of working. Yeah, I'm shooting myself backwards, and this is cute. Actually, that does kind of work. It's just that moving is such a horrific affair.
Oh,
So I've broken the ability to move. That's interesting.
because we just broke moving for whatever reason, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Knockback is actually pretty fine.
Okay.
I don't know where the head went, but everything else is fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about that. Um, we made a pretty big change though, where we are doing all these updates at the end of this function. I'm not sure why that's a big change.
Line
We're
79 should
doing
be let orientation equal transform.orientation. That should be initialized.
that. That does seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah. So that brings the head back.
Still can't move. The head's still there. Um, let's just take a quick look at this. We do. What are we? Are we doing anything else with position in here? We're really not. That's interesting.
Yeah, external velocity is always defined, right? It's not a question mark. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because we set it up as a 0. Yep.
And moving is broken if as soon as we start moving
Let me
around, right?
comment this out real quick, just
Yeah.
just to make sure that that ad's not doing it. Yeah, moving's just broken.
Okay.
You can't move. That's too bad.
All right. That's not going to be too bad, I think.
This is you just have to. It's we're doing like a Newtonian space simulation now, where the only way to move is to fire backwards.
Yeah. The kick looks jumpy to me. Is that
It looks pretty jumpy to me too.
Okay, cool.
I think maybe we have. Let's try doing like a little bit of that, and I really think Maybe the shooter applies a bit less as well.
Right.
Um, I don't know, like 0.25. It does feel quite jumpy though. I'm with you. So that should maybe do it over 5 frames. Oh, there you go. That looks cool.
And if you're, I guess this is going to be hard, but if you're backed up against the wall and you're shooting away from the wall, yeah, you won't penetrate through. Okay, great. So the
Yeah, and
collision code still works. That's relieving.
yeah, well, it still works, and I think, as we saw with a previous dash example, we could make it so you could dash through walls and shit. Like, it's certainly not.
Yeah, we could tunnel if we wanted to. Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's all right. I hit a move arrow and forgot that I couldn't move. Now I gotta run away from these bullets. Run away from the bullets with my own bullet.
So now we've just made Outer Wilds. Is that basically what happened?
Oh, basically. I mean, gosh, if we made Outer Wilds, just call it a day.
Yeah.
We would be successful. Cool. Okay.
Yes, Kay says, so now you can fire backwards while dashing forwards. We have our first speedrun strat.
Oh yeah, can I dash? No, dashing returns me to my horrible point of origin.
Oh no.
It's like I'm being rubber banded into this for oblivion.
Yep.
That's terrible. How did I do this? Position.
What's above all this? If above line 78, so dashing is definitely gonna mess with us because we do that continue statement right there on line 68, and what the continue means is that if we're dashing, we're never gonna process the kick, which is bad.
Yeah, so we've got some iframes on dash, is what I'm hearing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Yeah, I'm glad that the game has finally graduated to the point where we can start to use a little lingo. Got the iframes.
Yeah, very, very intentional iframes while you're dashing. Yeah, honestly, I love that, and would maybe consider that we should zero out the external velocity while dashing as well if we're going to do that, so you don't get kicked afterwards.
Yeah. What? This is the we're already running headlong into the consequences of putting everything into the same system, which is that we actually have to deal with the consequences of all these things crisscrossing with each other. It's okay. We would have had to deal with that anyway.
I would say the consequences are the same when they're separate systems. We just have to deal with them in a different crisscrossing manner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So
let's
really
actually figure this out modulo dashing, right? Because dashing is just an extra complication that we don't need to worry about right now. You can just avoid.
I don't think.
Just stop pressing spacebar, Dom.
Dashing,
stop it.
I don't have to, because as soon as I move, we're done. Yeah, no, I mean dashing code is removed and external velocity code is removed, and we're still in this place. So this is really like. This radial translate, which was my modify the new vector in place, is not happy, which is interesting. Only when moving.
Okay. In what direction are you? Are you at least moving roughly in the direction that you're pressing, or is it kind of like all out of whack?
I think it's jumping me to 0, 0 on the map, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, which.
So. What did what did line 95 look like originally? I forgot how to use that function.
Oh yeah, totally. It was just operating on transform position, and now it's writing back into it. But that should be okay, right? Like it's the same back 2 bucket.
That seems like it's fine, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, well, let's make sure we're in the same universe here. And
then that's a let up there.
Yeah, let's so that works.
What the hell?
What's the point of this parameter if I can't use it for my starting value? You jerks.
Well, that's actually our function, so we might have just written it wrong. Let's make sure that's.
Oh, okay. Well, but I mean,
it looks good.
How much is going on here? Yeah. That's really interesting. Okay.
Well, hang on.
Is it that we actually use the same out in two vec2 operations here?
It is
Is
possible.
that
I added that in there as an optimization, but let's try to reason about it, shall we?
mhm.
So we rotate.
Oh. Um,
Oh yeah, we can't do it. We can't do it this way because we're clobbering the. Yeah, this is just a bug. That out should be vec2.create.
this one right here on
Yeah,
74.
my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because we do a rotation around 0, which is why I keep jumping in the center of the map, and
Yeah,
then do some moving.
yeah.
Cool.
Mystery solved.
I mean, I appreciate the optimization. That sure
Yeah,
seems like it makes sense. Cool.
I should
Okay.
maybe add some unit tests.
Yeah,
It's close to time, I'd say.
it's close. So I can do this, and I can kind of shoot myself backwards while I'm
I mean,
going.
that's kind of like what we expected, right?
Yeah, totally. Actually, yeah, it works better than I thought it would, because the feeling of moving. I think this is actually probably just far too strong, as a kick.
Okay.
But like otherwise, it's great. I mean, just like the. I mean, we're in a game field world here, but just the feeling of, yeah.
I mean, it really kind of depends on what weapon you're talking about, right?
That's a great point. We haven't even brought in sort of other weapon types yet. Yeah.
Yeah. But having this
All
capability
right.
is really great.
This is pretty awesome. Yeah. So if I were to take this all the
Gosh,
way
that
to the
math there is something else.
so this is pretty gnarly. Yeah, I want to make sure we're adding. Oh, yikes! Yeah,
I mean, you could try doing it like again as a sequence of statements. If like you could create a temporary vector
sure.
and
Yeah,
then like
right.
yeah. I don't know if that's gonna make it easier but you know maybe worth just looking at.
hmm Uh, yeah, I mean, I think at least this is. Oops. And actually, I want the scale on that as well.
I think maybe instead of a scale we can do a negate. Is there such a function called vec2.negate?
Ooh, there totally
And
is.
then you can get rid of the -1 there.
I guess I was thinking that like, oh, you know what? I think I did something dumb, which is that like I wanted this to be this. We wanted this to be a northwest vector,
Correct.
and this should be like negative 0.25, because this is really our kick intensity or something.
Oh, I see. The shooter is determining that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because then whatever weapon we're firing can actually say like how strong this is. This it might be nice to have vec2.north at some point if
I
we
agree.
want to add some helper
Yeah.
functions. Yeah,
It might be
yeah,
worth
that'll
having
come
like a
up a
bunch of
lot.
immutables like vec2.0, vec2.north,
Yep.
vec2.west, all those.
Yeah, because we can just put those in anywhere. Yeah, we can import them from constants and it's totally fine. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just do this. Vec2.north.
Yeah, it might not be vec2 dot because it wouldn't be on that library itself. But yeah.
Right, like vec2 north or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why are we rotating? Oh, because we're rotating north around 0, and this should be vec2 0. That I think these two would actually make this a lot clearer, so I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. I'm just going to take this and stick it in the dribble. Damageable damager. Do we have a damager system?
We do. No.
Maybe
Attack
I think this is
system.
it. Attack system.
Well, I guess it can go in multiple places, right? The attack system is actually, I think it has the knowledge of where the attack is coming from.
Yep. Which is Where's our hit? I guess this is the only hit we have right here, because we've continued if you make it to this point. Okay.
This is an interesting problem. The attack system only knows about overlaps. It doesn't know about orientations.
That's true, but it does have the ID of the bullet that we can get. Right? Is there not a?
Yeah, you can get the orientation there. Yeah.
Yeah, this transfers it. So I feel like we at least have our stuff seems to be pretty put together. This is definitely not the correct thing. This is target ID. And let's intensify this stuff.
And it should be positive in this case, right? Because you're moving it in the same direction.
No, it should move away from the bullet. Knockback. The bullet's approaching you from the opposite. Oh.
Yeah, shoot one of the other dogs.
Can I? Did I just crash the game? I just crashed the game.
We might just have a
external tank mover.
Not everybody has a tank mover.
Not every,
we shot.
Not a tank mover. Yeah,
it has to have a tank mover is not undefined. Yeah,
that totally makes sense. Damn it! Every time.
Sorry.
Nope. It's exactly right.
Oh, get rid of the exclamation point on line 98.
Oops. Boy, I could have solved that problem myself if I hadn't been a little cowboy there. Yeah, so if I shoot the dogs are actually going to move towards me.
X-ray gun, or rather a tractor beam, something like that.
Tractor beam.
Yeah.
You know what? I love it. We can do it.
So if you get hit by the turrets, you're going to get knocked back, right? Oh yeah, it's totally happening.
Yeah, it's actually
pretty intense.
Makes it kind of like, yeah, this is hefty knockback.
Sorry, it just got a little bit choppy.
They're big old turrets.
Yeah. What did you just say?
Oh, these are pretty big turrets. They should knock you back.
Yeah,
they've
got some.
They've got some wall off the map.
Hey Dom, you know what you just created?
What's that?
You just created a physics engine. Tankmover.ts is a physics engine. Yeah.
Turns out, I've also created. My dog just drifts now. This is Shiba Inu Tokyo Drift. Oh, he's vibrating.
Oh, this is because we're not properly zeroing out the.
I think that's what I was sort of struggling with as we were doing that. I was like, oh fuck, like I'm not actually. Yeah. So the subtraction in the tank mover needs to sort of.
Yeah.
I guess it could end up subtracting past this value, huh?
Yeah. If normalize makes the vector bigger, that's what's going to happen, right?
If normalize makes
or rather bigger scaled by external velocity deceleration. It's more complicated than what I'm saying, but you I think.
Yeah, I see what's going wrong. Yeah. Oh, huh. Well, it's always under 1. That's too bad. Are we missing a rescale? Is that what happened?
So what we're missing is
and the floor at 0, for sure.
Yeah, this is a little bit complicated because external velocity can be positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
But what we kind of want to do is that if the deceleration that we're applying on line 113 is going to make it cross 0,
mm-hmm.
Then we need to just set it to 0, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's more complicated math, I think.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
We could compare lengths. We could say,
That's I was thinking that, yeah, compare links. And do we have is there a fast, well, I guess we can use a math function for that to check if the
yeah.
sign
So
changed.
like maybe line 116 to 120 is our deceleration. It's like our delta velocity,
Mm.
right? It's our dv, right?
Hmm.
And then what we could say is that if vec2 dot square length of dv is greater than or equal to vec2 dot square length of tank mover external velocity,
Hmm.
then we update the external velocity to 0. Otherwise, we update it to the subtraction value. Something like that.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. Cool. Let's get this over here. Make this a vector decorate. And then if it's greater than this, then we do vec2 dot 0 of new external velocity.
Yeah.
Rise this also into new external velocity. Sweet. Whoa. Yeah. Oh, I bet squared length actually needs
We
to
gotta
also
do
go
the
into
thing.
GL. Gotta do
I
the
can't
thing.
tell if I'm
Oh,
impressed by this or is square
by
length the
what?
same thing as square distance? Is it literally the same thing?
Square distance is the distance between 2 points.
Oh,
Square
okay.
length is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
single
got it.
one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It is otherwise the same if I take one of these properties out,
Yeah.
which I'm totally going to do. No. Oh, I was going to say there's 2 square distances, but that's because I just put one of those in.
You're too powerful, Dom.
Oof. I am too something.
And the reason why we do square length is we don't care about the square roots, right? We just care about relative magnitudes.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. Let's see if I can get myself in
In a drift state.
in jam again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The zoom's a bit choppy right now. Sorry, everybody on stream.
Wow, it didn't. That's too bad. It's interesting. Some of the punches seem to hit harder.
It really is. It because you're getting hit by 2 at the same time?
You know, it very well might be, and sort of having the system not having the damageable and the shooter not sort of add more than they are capable of might be the solution there.
This looks great.
I mean, look, let's be real. This is now a dog petting simulator. We've just added dog petting physics.
Yeah.
It's nothing tanky about this game anymore. Sometimes you just
They're
gotta
just
pet a dog with
they're
a-
just this is heavy petting. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, these are aggressive dog pettings.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That turret's trying to pet us. All right, get out of here. This is great. I like that I can move players around the field now because it's extremely actually makes the game feel a lot more real. You're right. We did just write a physics engine.
Yeah. This is great. I mean,
right.
we've already added a lot of dimensions to the game just by typing things.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? We're like
Now,
wizards.
I think I would like. I feel like this has come up a couple times. I want to put all of these in a constants file and have like sort of a top to bottom numbers that we can tweak.
Do it.
Yeah, because I think having even if it's going to be a bunch of like kind of annoying imports, I think we'll use it. This is like export default gun kickback. Yeah.
You're gonna need some consts in there.
Oh, thanks.
That's what I'm good at. That's what I'm good for.
I am
Stating
definitely-
obvious things in the most annoying way possible.
I am definitely let's see, export const player health. I'm a professional JavaScript developer who absolutely remembers how to write this, even though I did it.
These
like
can
less
all
than an
go
hour
into a
ago.
big, eventually a key value map that we can adjust through a debug menu. Wouldn't that be dope?
Yes.
You had a slider.
Yes, that's what I want.
Yes. Extra credit project for Dominic DeGrati. Debug
I
menu.
mean,
I love
bro,
writing debug
that's
menus.
just
It's kind of my.
that's just we're in the browser. That's just doing this.
It's true. It's
I
true. It's not
mean,
going to work for the
I'm
server. The server sim is not going to like that. But
shit. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
you can do global dot, and I think it'll. I think it's the same thing, right? Does the
Really?
browser have global?
Let's find out. Let's do it
You
for
can
these
you
three
can
and
or
see
you
if
can
we
just open
survive.
DevTools, right? What does global do in DevTools?
Oh yeah, totally. Well, if you could see that, you would see that it says can't find variable global.
You know what?
That's
You're no
weird.
fun, browser. Oh yeah, global this. There you
Global
go.
this?
I think Node has a global this as well. Try
Huh.
just opening a Node interpreter.
Node has global.
this.
Does it have global this? It
Yeah.
does have global this.
Am I using global this anywhere in the entire thing? Does it exist?
That's a great question.
Oh,
Shit.
yeah.
We are.
Oh,
For
yeah,
your garbage
in the,
collection set. That's why.
Okay, yeah.
Clever. Okay, I'm.
That's why it rang a bell.
Yeah, I'm down for this. Let's see, 100 and I don't know, 0.5, no, 0.15 and 0.4. Who cares? TypeScript, you're gonna hate
You know
this.
what you could do is you could do global this dot config or something like that, and then you get autocomplete in the you get some really nice autocomplete.
You mean putting this in an object
Yeah,
like this?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then you could actually
Uh,
type this by I forget how you add stuff to the global this, but it's in TypeScript, but it's doable. Commas.
nice, cool. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay punting on the typings for now.
You're gonna want commas there.
Oh,
Again, this is what I do: is I
was
point out
like-
the obvious in the most annoying way possible.
I was like, why are you just saying the word commas? What could you possibly mean? Boom.
And can you just type
Okay.
config? Does that just exist?
Oh. Great. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
And you actually have to use those values now, but otherwise,
I have never hit the graphics tab. What the fuck? That's great.
this is Safari.
Yeah. That's actually very handy.
Tell me what's going on in your Safari. You have one password. What's the cube?
The cube is my ad blocker, one blocker. I have a shared, I use the same thing on iOS, so I at least have like a consistent blocking behavior.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
But like no shared custom lists, so yeah.
You've blocked 210,455 requests all time. They should leaderboard that.
gonna say, at least
is
there's
that
nothing on
bronze
this site.
tier? What would you call that?
That's a great question.
Oh gosh, these
This is so fun.
these statistics are so unnecessary. But it's cool, right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're getting value out of this product.
I pay $10 for it, so it sure does.
Oh man.
Fuck the 11,000 trackers I've encountered. What the hell?
Yeah, all these cool little widgets you're teaching me about. I didn't buy the little CPU stat monitor thing, but I did use it for the full trial period. That was how much it was worth to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like pretty okay.
It's pretty rad. I mean, I like seeing the graphs.
Mm-hmm.
But it never solved any mysteries for me because performance, like my issues with my Mac, my M1 Mac are just like it's crashy or it's weird, it's buggy. It's not that the performance is ever bad.
Yep, that totally makes sense.
That
Okay,
config
well, I just put.
might need to.
I
You might
mean,
need global this there
lem-
for Node.js because Node.js is not going to be able to find that.
I was to say, let me tell you this: the game's still running.
Oh, interesting.
So
Maybe it's
I don't
fine.
know. I think it's fine. I mean, it's a huge alt type error, but so I'm gonna unroll this actually because I found a problem with the system. We need a debug menu that'll actually send a new constant to the server in memory.
Ah, shit. Why did we make a
'cause this
multiplayer
is
game
actually-
again? Why did we do?
I don't know, but it's useless to edit this on the client, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we need a whole debug network protocol, right?
Yes, correct. Just what we wanted to write.
However, we can actually do this, and we can have our cake and eat it too, because JavaScript, in its massive coolness, has functional getters and setters. So we can still set things via the debug menu and
Oh yeah,
have it
yeah,
transmit messages. That's how cool we are.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just my hubris because I was like, check out how cool it is if we put it on window and forgot about the rest of our architecture.
Yeah.
So
The fact that we have the source code open at the same time and the fact that the game compiles as quickly as it does maybe mitigates some of our pain. But it would be nice to not have a reset of the game state, right? While we're adjusting
it would be
this.
really cool to be able to tune stuff in the state the game is at
Yeah.
for whatever strange thing we're playing. What are we looking for? We're looking for shooter and we're looking for damageable. And then this is, let's see. Oh yeah, I guess there is no more you died. That sure seems correct. Oh no, it's not damageable. It is the attack system. Cool. And this is default gun knockback. Nope. And this is default gun kick. I guess this has to be the negative. Oh, game. I done crashed it. I forgot to import these values. Bloop. Hell yeah. All right. Any other magic numbers I added tonight? Oh yeah, there totally are.
Oh, so that didn't crash. Sorry, the video is lagging a little bit, so I couldn't tell what was happening there. Okay, cool.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. Yeah, it totally it crashed. It did crash, and then it uncrashed after I did the import.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm watching the stream over here could be faster. Maybe if I stopped watching the stream at the same time, it stopped eating my band.
Oh yeah. Maybe. Are you on fiber
I
right
had
now?
precious bandwidth, but I am. Yeah, I've been having like my Sonic has been a little slow these days, and I'm getting to the point where I might need to write them. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, they've been pretty good for me. They did charge me $10 a month for a router that I didn't use.
It's
A little dodgy. Yeah.
it's a little dodgy, but isn't that how all of those folks make that happen?
Yeah, I think we're all paying like $10 also for a phone line that none of us use as well.
For Sonic? Oh, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Do you have Sonic? You do, right? That's what you were saying.
I do, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Sonic is great.
Oh, this is your Zen right here. Let's just move everything out, right?
Sorry, dude. It's just happening, yeah. Well, just because, like, I feel like we look for these numbers all the time.
We do.
Yeah. And this will incentivize one of us, possibly you, possibly me, to make a real debug menu.
Yeah.
Or just be.
I love writing debug menus for games. In the web, it's a little bit.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that too, because like, you love the tools.
I think it's a little bit diminished in the web because of how straightforward it actually is. Not that I don't like doing straightforward things, but like it's all there. Like the console is already written for you. Writing a slider is just a matter of like creating a little HTML overlay, right? And you could add a little slider there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, look at that. Beautiful. Look at this constants file. Now, if this were C++ or C, you'd stick this all in a header, and as soon as you modified this, it would have to recompile like every module that like included that header, and it would be painful.
To be fair, we technically are recompiling every module that includes this when we do that. We just live in the fast world.
I don't think it. I don't know. I don't think it does, right? Because all this stuff is being imported at runtime. It's not resolving at compile time. In ES build, I do have it set as an incremental build, so it should be
Oh,
rebuilding
shit.
individual
Okay.
files based on their mod times. I think.
Oh, nice. Well, never mind.
Yeah. ES build is so fast. It's so good. It's incredible. That guy who designed it
I'm
is a
I'm
genius.
very impressed.
He's the same guy uh who we were trying to copy for his little like cool terrain shader, right? His like wireframe terrain
Yeah,
shader.
it's mind blowing that he's the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what can't he do? It's not fair.
You can't put dogs in games. I haven't seen it. I've been to his website. I didn't see
I mean,
it though.
there's no dogs. Okay.
There's no
Well,
dogs.
it's nice. It's nice that we've got that on it.
We've got that on him. Yeah. Eat that, CTO of Figma.
I was checking out Figma. Figma is WebGL. Did you know that? I mean, I guess that all
Uh,
makes sense because he's that guy.
I mean, I have to imagine that it is because unfortunately that your options for doing graphics in the browser are basically WebGL and then Canvas. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they have. I found it's Wasm too. This guy,
Mm-hmm.
our old friend Evan.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Figma is just doing all this,
I knew that
which
he
doesn't
was
make
I
sense.
knew that he was doing C++ into the browser. I
Hmm.
wasn't sure what mechanism he was using. Oh, I guess it was asm.js. Um, I probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
chosen that route. I don't know. Maybe they are taking advantage of things that we've complaining about, right? Like we're
well,
complaining
yeah,
about the fact that like every time we have to do vector math, we have to do a malloc, which sucks.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, they're. I was gonna say they're like Figma is quite a performant web app, and I feel like they've probably been on the cutting edge of like how much can we squeeze out of the browser,
Yeah.
at least since 2017. Yeah,
So they figured all this shit out
yeah,
already. Is basically what I'm hearing from you.
yeah, and also it sounds like they accidentally almost made a game because it's a WebGL canvas running in
Oh
ASM.js.
yeah, I mean, if they've got a really great blog post on how they synchronize the inputs because multiple people can edit the same document at the same time, and
Oh,
he straight up calls it multiplayer. So
yep, of course.
yeah, it's because Homeboy is like down with the game lingo, right?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let's see.
What are the show me the stats, Dom? What are the stats?
Oh, you can't see me zooming in on this.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oh, they were on WASM. They were on ASM. They switched to WebAssembly.
Okay.
Damn. All right.
I think
Cool.
asm.js, if I'm not mistaken, was
It was an early take on it, right?
I don't think it was a different execution engine. I think it was just JavaScript.
Yeah, but it was the sort of like here's your universal target. Um, and my understanding was that WASM was they were like, oh, we can give you that target in the browser. We'll give it to you natively instead of in JavaScript.
Yes, yes. I think that's pretty much exactly right. Like asm.js
Yeah.
was essentially JavaScript with integers because I guess if you do like the pipe in 0, you actually get an actual like a real integer in JavaScript.
Mm.
Or you can force most interpreters to treat it as an integer rather than a float. So just straight up there, you have like a full on. You can do assembly basically, but WASM is binary, and then I think they have a runtime that more faithfully actually implements WASM. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. I love, yeah.
Oh yeah, Godot targets WASM. That's cool.
Does it? Well, this is still ASM.js, but I
Oh,
assume
okay,
I
yeah.
assume if it targeted ASM, it can certainly target WASM. And really, they're just fun to say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, it's cool. I like. Strangely, I feel like we've taken ourselves to the cutting edge of web dev again somehow.
Why don't we hear more about this? Is interesting, right? We have all these game engines that target the browser, but like
Hmm.
maybe it's because we're just not the browser game demographic. There's probably just a huge market of browser games that are out there that we just don't know about, right?
I wonder about that. I think for game stuff too. like the input in the browser seems like the biggest detriment to me. I don't know if there's good browser controller support. But I'm like always disappointed
Well,
if
there's a
I'm
gamepad
like doing
API.
something that's really cool. I guess I was thinking that like if you're playing a game and you accidentally like click over here or click over here, like your input is captured in the wrong
Yeah,
place. And like
and if you click
for
out of the
anything twitchy,
browser,
the
like
browser
the update
sucks.
goes down
Yeah.
to like 10 FPS, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But for a Figma, it sure seems like a great idea.
Yeah, Figma's cool. It's a cool app.
It's a cool app. I somehow expect that like Notion and a whole bunch of other shit eventually will end up being like, yeah, WebGL apps, and we just won't know it. It'll just be normal.
I wonder if anybody's doing the psychotic thing and implementing like text input and text rendering in WebGL, and essentially they just have re-implemented like HTML in WebGL.
I mean, isn't that what Figma basically is?
Oh, I guess it is, right? You're
Yeah,
right.
they've created an entire layout system in OpenGL.
Yeah, I think you're
Faster.
right. I think you're right.
But I was using it today and I was noticing that like after I learned this, I was like, oh cool, like they scale from like 1,000% backed off all the way into a screen in like a snap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh cool, like I understand probably what their rudimentary shader pipeline is for that.
So one thing I'm curious about is if there are limitations of the browser. What if we distributed Manchester in Electron, right?
Ooh.
Because we could do
Hmm.
UDP at that point, right? It'd be a little bit weird because you'd be bridging. You'd like
That's
the
really
browser would
interesting.
talk to the node layer. Node can definitely do
Hmm.
UDP. Um,
Hmm.
but the hard part of UDP isn't the UDP. The hard part is all the like how do I find your IP address, right? I put a link in the show notes for episode 73, I want to say. Um,
Hmm.
but there is I think it was 74, which for
Oh,
some reason
okay.
it didn't publicize.
It's because I go in and do these by hand after I put them on the web
Oh,
or on the
well,
YouTube channel.
I think I tried to do it, for some reason it didn't publish. But
Oh, weird.
but it's in
We'll
the
fix
Manchester
that later.
playlist. But it's on tailscale.com, their blog. Um,
I was gonna say I can get to the playlist through
oh
this.
yes,
Oh, yep, you're totally right.
yeah. I
Well,
just
it's weird
I
too. As
just
soon
plugged
as
it.
soon as
Yeah,
these things, there we go.
yeah.
As soon as the videos open, they start playing, and I'm like, I'm hearing you say something in my ear, and I'm like, that's weird.
I just talk too much. I think that's basically what we're discovering here. This is a really good article about how hard it is to find the IP address and port of someone sitting behind a router.
Ah,
Um,
this is cool.
and the problem with like peer-to-peer game networking is that you have to do it in both directions. And it's suffice to say it's challenging, and a lot of times what ends up happening is you end up falling back on on having a relay, basically having like a TCP server
Oh,
sitting in between.
interesting.
Yeah.
But does that negate some of the benefit if there is a like are both clients making TCP requests to each other, or are
Uh,
they
yeah. So
are
there's
they?
basically two problems. One is how do you communicate directly with somebody on the internet that's not themselves acting as a server, and you aren't
Mhm.
either.
Mhm.
And then the other problem is, do you want reliable networking, or do you not care? And actually, Manchester's interesting in the sense that like I think we actually do want reliable networking between the client and the server if we want to make sure that like all of the client's inputs are being received by the server faithfully, right?
Mhm.
So TCP between the Manchester client and server actually makes sense. But you know how we send prediction hints to the server?
Mhm.
Or rather, we send prediction hints to other
To other clients.
clients.
Yeah.
One way that we could do that is to just have the clients directly connect to each other and directly send each other stuff. And we could also do that unreliably because the prediction hits don't matter. They're going to get an authoritative server frame at some point. So the prediction hints are just to make it a little bit smoother. And this is one area where Manchester would benefit from having peer-to-peer networking. So the networking can be complicated. You not only you have like a TCP you have a WebSocket stream open with the server, but you also have a unreliable stream open. It's not a stream. It's just UDP is not a stream. It's just like I'm sending you one packet, one datagram at a time, and there's no connection. But having that means that you can just sort of spray random updates. If the other person got it, then they got it. If they didn't, they didn't. It's fine. They'll get the authoritative frame at some point, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That'd be an improvement because we just get faster.
I don't know how many
hints.
games do that right now. Apparently, the trend is to move away from at least peer to peer and go to client server.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's then a UDP connection to the server from each client.
Yeah,
so
I think people will do UDP to the
they can
server.
just hang off that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that I think would still buy us a huge performance increase. So
You're the one that told me about augur.io, right? The one where that circle that consumes
oh yeah,
circles?
yeah, totally. This one, yeah. Just because it's like the classic web game.
Yeah, I mean, the guy wrote an article like a couple of years ago about his experience using WebSocket, because this is all WebSocket coordinated. You died, Dom.
Is it? I did. Oh, I wasn't. I switched tabs. My input just went away.
Oh.
This is also the canonical input browser game, which like I've lost so many games of Augur.io because I just like clicked in the wrong place or like moved my mouse over here.
Right. Oh my God, was that a dude?
That's a dude.
That's a dude. Yeah, he talked about how disappointed he was that he couldn't do UDP between client and server.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty hard in the browser.
Yeah, you have to do WebRTC.
And that's
and it's supposed to be like prohibitively complicated. Yeah. And all the complexity is again because you're trying to go peer to peer, and neither party is acting as a server. But he just wanted to do UDP between the client and the server, and wasn't able to do it. And none of the complexity of WebRTC is necessary at that point. It's just that there's no UDP option for WebSockets.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah.
If we shipped an Electron app, would it make any more sense? Could we just ship a native binary with?
Yeah, we could. As long as you're like able to deal with the idiosyncrasies of like each platform, right? You'd cross compile.
I mean, it's compiling ain't bad. We could ship a web view, but like we could just compile a native web view in there for each platform. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. And there's like there's cross-platform windowing hosts, right? I think Qt is one of those. Like you can figure out ways of like having a compile, not really compile once run anywhere, but like compile roughly the same source code. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I wonder. It would be interesting to have distributions of this game too. It'd be nice to be able to send it around.
Yeah.
Have a server in it somewhere.
I love the fact that we're in the browser right now, though. I think it's so good.
It's so good. It's so worth it.
The developer experience is incredible. It's just so fast.
Bar none. I wonder. I guess maybe my wonder is that are we stuck with a level of performance like Augur.io via WebSockets, where like you can kind of see the lag always, but it's playable.
I mean,
but it has that sort of like laggy feel.
Maybe, but also there's just like astonishing things done in the browser as well, right?
Oh yeah.
And
I think we'll pull it off.
Yeah, there's a lot of performance headroom that for some reason we're not able to tap into because we're allocating 50,000 vec2s or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I'm just gonna end rock again. Let's do some knockback multiplayer.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't break it.
HTTP. Did you change something here?
Well, I don't know if you saw in the Slack, but over the weekend I fixed our input lag issue, so we should be able to see the dashes now.
Dude, I did see that. That was really exciting. All right, hit the oops. I'm players 1 and 2. Hang on. All right, yeah, hit the end graph. Let's see what we got.
All right. Your dash is still pretty teleporting to me.
Yeah, yours as well.
But I want to say if we change the input delay up to like 20, we'd be able to see it. No, I saw your dash seemed smooth at that point. That was interesting.
This is 3. I'll take it to 6. Restarting. You are purely teleporting, yeah.
Interesting. What if we turned it up to 20?
Right,
I thought I fixed this. You did pull latest, right?
I pulled, yeah.
Okay. Okay, now you look like you're dashing normally. Yeah.
Your dash looks great, yeah. Damn. I wonder, I feel like maybe the magic number is like 10 because I think we measured, I mean, we are 10 frames ahead of server, right? So
that's the issue, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good there. You look good.
Yep. Yeah, it's about right.
Okay, so I did fix it. It's just that ngrok introduces a ton of network latency, unfortunately.
Yep.
And this feels not super playable, right? There's a lot of lag.
Let's take it back down to 3. Yeah. three was a good number.
3 is good, right? Three feels pretty smooth. Although ironically, my FPS is way down. I am playing on Firefox. Why do I keep playing on Firefox? I don't know why I keep doing that.
I don't know. Yeah, I see that too. I'm down to 50. I don't know if that's both of us or one of us. I'm not getting the waiting for server anymore.
Yeah, neither am I.
We're both indestructible.
Yeah, it's fun getting hit by the. At least I can tell that I'm getting hit this now because we lost all visual feedback,
right?
Yeah.
Oh right, because we haven't had any explosions in here.
I could do a debug draw. We could add debug draw really quickly to have visual feedback for hits, right? Because debug draw, we added that thing where the debug draw can linger for a while. We could just draw a little red square and linger it for, 10 frames or something.
Let's do that for the attack system. Is it simulation phase debug color?
We don't need to worry about that. I think anytime there is a hit, where do we detect a hit?
Right here.
And we know where it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just do a simstate.debugDraw. Is it debug draw 3D?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then this is a lambda that returns debug draw objects, and we can just go ahead and copy.
Yeah, this is the bullet trail. No,
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it is bullet trail. Cool. Yeah, I'll take this whole thing. So let's see. So actually.
Yeah, line tile's fine. Let's just make the let's just set the color to red. Which is going to be a vec4 of 1001. You don't need the simulation phase debug color. You don't. That function is just to set.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, totally. That's cool.
Oh, and we should probably only draw this if the simulation phase is a particular, because we do resim, we don't want to draw this multiple times. Maybe we just want to do it for the.
What is
simulation?
How do we get that?
Well, we were passing it into that function call before. What I don't remember what it was. Simstate.phase.
It's just simstate.phase. Cool. Oh man. Okay.
And I believe it's simulation state. It's an enum.
So let's see. Do you want authoritative?
Authoritative, I believe, is the only one that is guaranteed to show, right?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. You have to, maybe what we can do is if
And
SimState.phase not equals client authoritative, we can return the empty array, and then otherwise we
yeah.
can return the other stuff. And then just for shits and giggles, I think we can turn off the bullet trails. So if you just scroll up and just like comment out all this stuff.
With that, yeah, totally.
The game's gonna be a
You
little bit
want to
less,
see the?
it's gonna be a little bit less pretty, but yeah, I don't
It's. I
want the
mean,
noise.
I'm a big fan of that.
I don't see the trails. That's interesting.
Well, the trail is gone. Yeah.
No, I don't see the hits though.
I also don't. Is
I
it
can kind
possible?
of see them. They're flickering very quickly. I think maybe we want to set the lifetime to like 60 frames. Let's do it a full second. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's also small, so.
Oh yeah, we should draw this around the rectangle of the dog, not the bullet.
Oh
right.
yeah, so the
It's the
damageable
bullet there.
AABB maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can also turn off the hitbox rendering as well. That made them disappear entirely, I think.
It seems like that actually is not a thing in here. Let me see what I've got. I've got attacker A, B, B. Oh, I think we actually need to do a little A, B, B help here. Is a function that takes a damageable.
Is it
What do
target?
I have here? I might need to get the damageable. Yeah, I don't think we have that in here, but that's okay. We could draw this in the damager system, which might actually make more sense for what we've already got in scope.
Okay.
Let me look real quick before I copy paste. Maybe not, because we change the health over here, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I do have a damageable. That didn't complete. Damageable and
The transform of the damageable.
target transform.
I don't think that's available in this scope.
Oh shit. Yep.
We can grab it.
we
can grab it inside this function, right?
Yeah, I think we just have to refetch it. I was just being really lazy. Sorry.
It's cool.
SimState.manager transforms get.
We need the entity ID of we need the entity ID of whoever's getting hit right now. So it's target ID, I think.
Target ID is in there. Great.
Yeah. And here, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So now, how much frame delay is there? 3 right now?
3.
At 3? Okay, cool. It feels laggy to me, but I'm not playing at 60 FPS right now. It's Firefox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also getting a ton of waiting for server at this point. The amount of waiting, we saw, so we were able to, we had 2 mysteries last time. One was why the input delay, why dashes weren't rendering correctly even with the input delay. That's solved.
Mm-hmm.
But now we still have the other mystery still, which is why do both clients appear to get waiting for server at the same time?
Yeah. And we didn't actually manage to do our full network test for this, which we can try again soon.
Yeah, we also didn't think about it, right? I bet if we like
we haven't thought about it, yeah.
We could probably draw out the scenario that we're running into, you know.
Yeah, that seems true.
But I just want to shoot
these
you
are there.
with my
okay, yeah.
my guns.
You're on, dog.
Yeah. The bullets don't shoot fast enough.
It's weird that nope. We gotta speed those suckers up. We gotta make some more weapons in here. I think that would actually be really fun.
But I mean, we're starting to gain some capability. We're starting to gain a little vocabulary of mechanics that we can attach to weapons.
Yeah.
Right? which is what we were going for.
Oh my God, so many hits in here. Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can actually start to configure these things a little more, I think. Not bad. Not bad at all.
One
Boy,
way
that dash. Oof.
One way that dash could look, well, obviously if we don't play with ngrok going, the dash will look better. We could slow the dash down. We can also do a pre-animation, like a charge up to the dash.
I was thinking, yeah.
That would make it harder to use, but it would smooth it out. But it wouldn't have that Hades smoothness, unfortunately, right?
I was gonna say, I'm really, I kind of wanted to find like a GIF of this or something. What does dashing look like? Honestly, maybe I have to go and record the game myself and like.
I think the dash in Hades
watch
is pretty instantaneous.
It's pretty instant, but like, do we get 3 frames of instantaneous? Like, could we, if we delayed it by 3 or 6, would it still feel good? Is what I wonder.
So you're saying delay the dash even more? Interesting.
Yeah, because like you'll be moving that direction, and then like if we show immediate feedback to you, the player, and it's like a charge up and then a dash 3 to 4 or 6 frames later, I feel like that might feel instantaneous and get us like, I feel like this is just the network tuning we have to do.
Yeah, there's a video online about Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's from like the mid-aughts, so it's pretty old at this point. But they talk about how like they added like charge up animations for using the shield. So that's like
specifically because of network stuff.
Yeah, like they had grenades, and grenades would like blow up, and
so funny.
But grenades have like a timing that like they don't blow. They blow up after a certain amount of time, but like because they have that mechanic, when it goes up the network, it can be weird, and you don't want to like. What do you do if you like turn on the shield immediately? And they actually did stuff that was totally non-deterministic. They would delay different peers different amounts of time to get that to work correctly. Yeah, so the server was only delayed by n amount, but the originating player was delayed by even more. So everything was kind of happening. In Halo, they have like a non-deterministic simulation, and they just kind of like all the important transitions are simulated on the server. And the server just tells people what happened, tells each client what happened.
I mean, that game was fun as hell, so whatever works.
I think it was Halo Reach that was the one that
that's the best one.
I heard that was good.
I loved Reach. Yeah. Reach multiplayer, I think, was the pinnacle of Halo.
Yeah. We got a good little game going on here. I don't know. I still think that we could keep up with deterministic simulation for a while longer.
I think so too. Yeah.
There's some optimization we could do. There's also programming languages we can explore. Sorry to drop Zig on you. I know I must sound like a total rocket scientist, but I think it's worth thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would go Rust before Zig, maybe just for sheer understandability and other people using it. Did you shoot a wall out of a turret so it would shoot me? Because that's really clever.
I didn't. Well, I did kind of do that.
Not on purpose, at least.
Not on purpose. Yeah, I wish I was that smart. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I had another issue. I had, like, a couple weekends ago, I was doing something with Rust, and, like, I had another one of those moments where, like, I thought I understood the browser checker, but it wouldn't compile, but I changed the ordering of 2 lines, and it started working again, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh.
2 lines that actually seemed totally orthogonal with each other. I'm like, you know what? This is going to be hard. Like, this is not an
yeah.
This is a steep learning curve type language.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And I only brought it up because it's like, it's not a nothing language. It's more popular than.
Right. This actually exists, which
like,
is
you've heard of Nim, right?
No.
Okay.
Is that no? I'm not like I feel like I miss out on some of the more niche programming languages.
It's definitely it's nichey, but like there are smart people talking about this language and excited about it. I'm not including myself in that group. They're
Stop it.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's pretty cool. And if it works, and you said this goes to WebAssembly, right? Like that's great.
It does target WebAssembly. I don't know how mature the tooling is. I mean, there's so many different questions. I would actually just say from a pure kind of like learnability standpoint, it's supposed to be like an order of magnitude easier than Rust, which is
Mm,
compelling. Yeah,
yeah, that sounds pretty nice actually. Rust
yes,
breaks my brain.
yeah.
Um, okay,
I'll
heck
send you a
yeah.
page of notes
Okay.
from someone who's smart about the comparison of the two languages because they do talk about it in roughly the same breath. The one thing that it doesn't have is a borrow checker, so you lose all the borrow checker goodness. Gosh, I love this turret. I love the feel of it. Um,
Yeah, the turret's pretty good.
yeah. Of course, it rotated too far.
Did it?
I expected it to turn
I mean,
around.
I'm fucking with it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. As am I. Oh, you know, it's probably because one of us was out of range. It actually has a very complicated AI, the turret does. Right? If you're out of
The turret
range,
AI is like it's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I want to add is that it should stop shooting at you when you are obscured.
Doesn't
It
it?
like has eyes. It has eyes in the back of your head. Well, uh, sorry, I wanted to not shoot the wall as it turns towards you. It's got that weird sort of like it hasn't quite figured out where its head is pointed once it targets you.
Oh, yes. And I think we knew about that issue actually. I think we knew
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
there was like a disconnectedness between the two. Anyways,
yeah. Like what I'm doing to it right now is just sort of using it as my own gun.
we've added kick, which is great. We've added a little damage indicator.
Yep,
Not
we
bad
got some
for a
knockback.
couple hours of work tonight.
No, not at all. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think I would be really interested in some UI. I'd be interested in some debug menu and some weapon switching and some sort of light UI to bring it back to some game loop stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're well prepared for that now.
And then once we
Oops.
have kind of some basic systems in place for that, um, I think we need to figure out how the weapons and things tie together into level design, right? That's ultimately going to be
I'm
the
really
thing that
curious
makes
about that. Yeah.
that makes the game. And I think
Hope you guys are
aesthetically,
cool
I
because
think we're good with mock models. I know we wanted to learn Blender a little bit more, but I thought about it some, and it feels like the important thing is to get the game feeling right. And I think visuals are less important than you might think for that.
yeah. I mean, I think we will develop our Blender expertise on the side because it is a fun tool.
Yeah, it's fun, but
But
I think I
also,
find myself intimidated by it every time I step in.
I was gonna say we have sort of a deep ability to drop weird dog assets from CG Trader into the game now.
Yeah, we
So
can do that. Yes, we're good at that.
yeah, we can really go to town on a bunch of other models. More Shivas, more paper tanks, whatever feels good to us.
Whoa, how am I getting knocked back there? That was a weird thing that just happened.
Oh, I don't know, but I accidentally committed one player, and now you are playing by yourself.
Oh, you
So
know what it was? It was because I'm using a Keychron keyboard and my finger was just slightly pressing the key. I
yep,
might
those
buy a
they're
magic key. Yeah,
gentle
yeah,
keys.
I gotta be gentle. I might buy a magic keyboard and see. Uh,
It's fair. I
just have one
mean,
as a backup, you know.
I do have one as a backup, yeah.
Yeah,
But I like that I have the Keychron as my Windows and Mac keyboard for my streaming setup. So
it's good. Yeah, and it has key trap. It has nice key. It feels good to use. It feels really good to use.
it feels good. But
But
that gentle touch is really a killer.
it's a killer. It's really bad. Yeah, I sent them that feedback, and
They're kind of, did they respond to you? Because they've kind of been jerks to me in the past.
they kind of responded. They said that they would try to figure out how to make the actuation force higher, but
Mm.
I think with these optical switches, the entire actuation force is a lie, and apparently it's true on your switches as well. And you have the Gaterons, right?
I do not know.
You're not. Those aren't optical. Those are supposedly mechanical switches on your keyboard, right?
Gotcha. If they are, then yeah, they are soft as hell. So maybe they lied to me,
Yeah.
or maybe they lied to you. Maybe we all just have bad soft switches. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, all after 9. So yeah, we did good today.
Okay.
We built some shit.
All right. Well, good night, everybody. See you on Thursday.
Thanks, Rich.